Here's a look at your market recap on this Friday, the 9th day of November. A pretty rough week this week for the cattle. Box beef cutout values, livestock futures, and negotiated feedlot trade all quite a bit lower this week. Before we get into that news, however, we'll take a look at a few of the stick-out sales at the auction barns around the state this week. There was still some of those. When all's said and done this week, going to end up with about 22,000 head. The volume at the barns very light this week, as many of the southern barns were impacted due to historic flooding and extremely heavy rains in that area, washing out roads, closing roads, and making transportation just difficult to impossible. A few stick-out sales that occurred mostly at the northern auctions this week. A gooseneck load of 503-pound steers sold at $339. The weighted average price statewide on those light 5-weight steers this week at $305. Had a full load of 654-pound steers sell at $281.50. Some 739-pound steers, a full load of those, $273. The weighted average price statewide on those light 7-weights this week at $258. Had a full load of 824-pound steers at Lawley Brothers Livestock Market, tagged as thin, $264.85. And then 2 full loads of those heavy 8 to almost 900-pound steers at Unionville, those reputation steers from Rock and R, $254 to $256.75. Taking a look at some heifers. Had a gooseneck load of 503-pound heifers at Tina Livestock Market, $291. The weight average price statewide on those light 5 weights at $266. A load of 678-pound heifers at Lawley Brothers Livestock Market, $268.25. Then we had several loads of light 7 weights sell anywhere from $258.50 all the way up to $262. The weighted average price on those light 7-weight heifers this week at $255. And you heard that right. That's almost as much as the steers. However, most of these heifers this week all sold in pot loads and were of very high quality, and they could have went to feed or could have went home either way. Taking a look at the box beef cutout values. Choice closed the week at $307.93. That's down $8.41 for the week. Select $279.19, down $5.84 for the week. And that's the lowest value that the select cutout has been since all the way back in mid-January. Volume today, 151 loads of cuts, trimmings, and grinds, and the choice select spread setting at $28.74. Negotiated feedlot trades so far for the week as of the 2 o'clock report cutoff, about 37,000 head. Of course, some trade will take place after that report cutoff, so we'll catch up on Monday to see just how big the volume was this week. Live sales in all the feeding regions reported $2 to $4 lower, from $187 to $188. Just a handful of dress sales reported $294. Taking a look at the futures markets on the Mercantile Exchange, live cattle, December closed down 212 on Friday, 183.70. February down 212 at 185.30. November feeders down 222, 245.42. January down 290 at 241.42. Lean hogs for December, 77 lower, 80.42. February 84.82, down 47. Turning our attention to the grain markets at the elevators around the state this week, soybeans were 34 to 64 cents higher, wheat was 5 to 20 higher, and corn 16 to 33 higher for the week. On Friday, your corn bids at the elevators in St. Louis, 455, Kansas City 386 to 426. Soybeans, St. Louis 1054, Kansas City 951 to 1032. Wheat bids in St. Louis, 587, Kansas City, 547. On the Board of Trade, December corn closed at 431, up 3.5. March at 444 1/4, up 3 3/4. November beans up 1 1/4 at 1016 3/4. January was up 4 cents at 1030 1/4. December wheat a penny higher, closing the week at 572 1/2. March down 1 1/2, 587 1/2. Soybean meal down $2.30 at $296.20 a ton, and soybean oil for December 45 cents a hundredweight higher at $48.77. With the Missouri Department of Agriculture, that's a recap of your markets for Friday. This is Tony Hancock.